This is Distance from Center. I'm Horton. That is
Trent.
Hey, man, how are things there in Texas?
Well, hot and actually not that windy, so things are great. Crazy, exciting couple weeks. We're waiting for this new sort of look of the Water Ski Pro Tour to get going, and we just got piled on the last 2 weekends. First the U.S. Masters, and then into that Lake 38 Pro event.
Absolutely. Amazing stuff. And, some consistent, top of the podium results, but lots of interesting stuff deeper in the field. Great events, emotional skiing, exciting skiing.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible, especially and again, like the lead up to the Masters was all these qualifiers, and there, that was met with very mixed reviews. Obviously the sort of up and comers who qualified for Masters, they loved it. Some of the other skiers thought it just really didn't do justice to the tournament, but in the end it kind of washed. Apart from De Gasperi wasn't there, which was laughable, but laughable, I mean, as in
Right.
ridiculous. Not
Right. Yeah.
not laughing at De Gasperi's misfortune at all. He should have been there.
No.
He had already earned himself a qualification. But anyway, that aside, it ended up being an amazing Masters.
Yeah.
Just get going. Let's start with women's slalom, like we typically do.
Women's slalom, I think it was a battle between Minot and Jamie, and Minot, of course, is current world champion and
Past Master
champion. She's done it. She's been fighting ankle injury, so she's a little off. Of course, Regina's not there because she popped her ACL a couple of days before Masters. So the Jamie Minot battle was set up, and it was pretty epic. Minot's best score of the weekend was in the prelims. She ran a 5:39, which on Robin Lake is
Big.
Pretty darn solid.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to finals, and Jamie took it with a 2:39. Super big congratulations to Jamie. She's legit.
Oh, yeah, because it was just that. It stunk that Regina got hurt, and it's unfortunate. But it was going to be this. Okay, so what happens if you take the best skier of all time and the current, top contender? If you take her out, who's going to take advantage of this? And like we said, we knew Whitney was coming back from, she still recently just had a little one, a little boy. So we knew that this was going to be her kind of kickoff tournament Masters. So it really was. It was all eyes on Manon and Jamie Bull, and the young gun. She just solid every round. It was an exciting final.
Yeah, for sure. And then on to men's. The prelims. In my mind, it really was Nate Smith's show. He crushed. I think he kind of left everybody in his dust. And then we come to finals, and Nate of course.
He was a long ways ahead. I think he was like 3 at 41, and then maybe the next score after that was 5 at 39, maybe.
Right. And then we get to finals, and Nate's last off the dock. Asher goes out and looks amazing,
Yes, he ran
killer.
3 where I was expecting him to somehow run 9.
His
start was phenomenal.
His 1 and 2 were insane.
Yeah.
Was it you that speculated that he actually got such a good 2-ball that it threw him off at 3?
Well, in my mind, he didn't do his Asher, stop turn at 2-ball at 41. He just actually flowed through it, and it somehow put him on a line that he wasn't all that familiar with, because he just made a move at 3 that I didn't see coming. It looked absolutely phenomenal. And then Freddie goes out, and Freddie kind of just Freddied it up a little bit. He ran 3.5, right?
Right, but again, he looked when you saw him turn 2, I thought he was in it, right? He was going to go.
He was way in it. Yeah. And then Nate had to chase that 3.
3.5.
he had to chase that 3.5. Sorry, and which would mean he, not essentially, he literally would have to tie the course record for the win.
Right.
And he was close. Didn't have the start the other boys had, but Nate, he stays pretty cool when things get hairy at 41. But he did his best to check it out around 4-ball. Ended up tying with Will for second.
Right. And so Parrish gets to keep the course record, right? Parrish at 41?
Yep.
All right. Love you, Pickle Man. And then on to the 3-event stuff. Notable Pato Font, 12-120 points trick. Amazing.
It was amazing.
Anna Gay, 10-190. Fred Krueger wins jump, which is no shock. But in the prelims, Joe Poland pops out a 221. So this kid just continues to put up these gigantic 3-event scores.
It's
Not to be underrated at all.
No, I mean that tricker can jump and slalom very well.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And then, but in keeping with men's jump, it was like don't breeze. Yeah, Freddie won another one. Actually, Freddie won his 14th, which means that he ties Andy Mapple for the most Masters titles of anyone in the history of the sport. So I mean that wasn't just another win for Freddie. That was record book stuff.
So I'm totally going to screw this up because I didn't double check the records, but I believe he's won at least one Masters championship in each of the last 4 decades. That can't be right. I know that is.
Can't be right. Unless he started winning when he was like 9 years old.
Yes. Okay.
Which he might have.
All right. I'm sorry I said that, but we'll just leave that in the tape.
I'm glad you said it. That was awesome. But no, he won his 14th. So I mean, now there's it's a record that just seemed unattainable for anyone. How is anyone going to catch Mapple's record?
Hang on. He won one in the 90s.
Yeah.
He won one in the 200s. Won one in the 210s. Won one in the 220s.
He won his first one in the 90s, huh?
I'm just making this crap up at this point.
I bet he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he did too. All right, and then women's jump. I don't know how to pronounce Hannah's last name, but she jumped 53 meters. She won. You want to take a swing at her last name?
Yeah, her name's Hannah. She jumps really far. Yeah, I know she's. I mean, I don't know her last name, but no. You know what though? That was actually it was a good event. It was. The prelims were scary. I hope everyone watched it. I mean, it was roly, where there was 3 different athletes that literally almost crashed on their countercut. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, it's just it ended up being a tough event. Some new people got in, and they a lot of the new people held their own. So it was one to remember for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so moving on to Lake 38, I just kind of want to say that when we got into Masters, we looked at 2 of these women slalom skiers and thought, oh, well, they're legit, but do they belong in the field with Veek and Mills? And I want to say that after Lake 38, I just want to apologize outwardly that I ever questioned the 2 of them because they both showed their mettle 100% at Lake 38.
100%. Both of them, and it was Chelsea Mills that really stood out, though. I mean, 4 at 39. I mean, granted, Lake 38's a smaller pro event, but it's still the best skiers on the planet. So, she absolutely backed up her Masters performance, which backed up the fact that she qualified in an unusual manner. Yes, I was again jaw dropped how well she handled herself with that kind of pressure.
No question. And then at the top of the podium, in the prelims, Minot ran 5 at 39, and then in the finals 4 at 39.
Yep.
Bull 2 at 39, and then in the finals 4.5 for the win. So these 2 are.
But Jamie did run 39 one of those rounds.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed that. I apologize.
I think she ran 39.
You're right.
In round 2 of the prelims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're keeping.
and looked phenomenal doing it. Again, I just went total fanboy last 2 weekends, and I
Oh
didn't,
yeah.
I didn't miss much. But no, it just absolutely looked incredible. And again, it's we were going to just wait and see with this, with Regina out of the picture momentarily, who's going to take advantage of it. And the cool thing is like Jamie Bull back-to-back weekends. It's wildly impressive.
Super impressive. The men, I can't go without mentioning Travers and Benny, both who I think looked really good. I'm increasingly a fanboy of Benny's skiing. I don't really understand it, but I'm super intrigued by it. But then, and Benny had, well, 1 and 2 at 41, which brings us back to Asher and Fred, who, I mean, let's just forget about the podium for a minute.
Oh.
They're both skiing so freaking well.
Good. What about that second round of the
Fred?
So the second round of the preliminary round, where the last two skiers were going to be Will and Freddie. Will goes out and runs 39. Like, I mean, it looked like the boat was doing 34 miles an hour. It was preposterous. And then instead of shortening, just comes straight back to the dock. And I was like, I thought it was an old school Will move where he used to put more conscious effort into where he was going to come off the dock in the final, and he would ski the prelims accordingly. And so I was thinking, well, maybe that's it. He was thinking in the final, I'm not going to go up before Fred and see if Fred can catch me, kind of deal. But then Will goes back to the dock. In the interview, he said something along the lines of, I didn't really need to ski, but I wanted to go out and just test the parameters of 39, like see how easy I can run the pass because I had no fear of missing it, because he was already qualified for finals. So he goes back to the dock, and then and how does Freddie answer? He wasn't going to play any games, and he just went out and ran 41. So it was just really cool because they both looked incredible, as good as I've ever seen any two people look on a slalom ski back to back. And there was just this really interesting sportsmanship dynamic, this competitive dynamic. I thought it was really cool.
And that 41 of Fred's, I've watched it on Instagram like 20 times because it was like I reposted it and I just keep watching it. Mm-hmm. It is just astounding. His composure. I mean,
perfect word.
Turns at 41 are rarely going to be perfect, but at every weight crossing, he looks like he does at 35. Just crushing.
Composure is that's the perfect word. I mean, and that's just the whole trick. I mean, when you can stay calm and trust your spacing, but it's just hard. Emotions take over at your hardest pass, whether that's 28 off or 41.
Okay. And then so we come to the final, and Asher runs 3 at 41. Fred gets just a crushing start at 41. 2's a little sketchy. 3's a little sketchy. Gets a piece of 4. People are arguing if it should be 3.5 or 3 1/4. What do you say?
Quarter.
You're so wrong.
No, because you said, hey, go back and watch it. I think you're going to find out that you're wrong. So I went back and watched it, and I was like, I've never been more right about anything. It's 3 1/4.
Okay, but he had the handle for like 20 feet past the ball.
He wasn't skiing 20 feet past the ball. He was sliding on his face.
No. His butt didn't hit the water. He was supported by the ski.
Until the second he got past the buoy.
No.
Now watch it again. That's a quarter.
No, it's half.
That's a quarter.
All right. Hey, these events were really good.
But we'll finish up the podium, though.
What did I forget?
Fred won. Second one.
Fred won.
Your guy. Stadabauer.
Oh, Stadabauer, yeah. And then Asher, I'm guessing.
No,
I'm sorry.
JT was third. Will actually ran 2.5.
2.5. All right,
yeah.
My mistake.
But
sorry.
again, with the perfect 1, the perfect 2, and he kind of blew up at 3 a little bit. Will ended up 4th, but which was kind of cool. Not kind of cool. It's amazing. You put Stadabauer up. Because it's a pro event, yes, but it's a low pressure man-made lake. Right. So the opportunity for a newer, younger guy to slip in there is super, super rare in that environment, and then just anytime, we get to watch John Travers ski his way to a podium is like, it's a win for me because I love the guy and he's just, he's just crazy aggressive, and he has a kind of the same temperament whether he gets onto the podium or misses the final. He's just kind of cool about it no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
What's
All
next?
right. Well, I guess we've got King of Darkness in a week or two, and then I think we've got some European events coming.
Potentially, hopefully. Okay.
Hopefully, I think at least 2 of them are locked in. All right, I gotta run. I gotta get some food for my little monkey. I will talk to you soon.